Serving the One. How serving everything is serving ourselves. The whole premise here is that when you serve other human beings and the earth, you are ultimately serving yourself. Let us start off this big analysis and poetic musing with a bit of a question. The question is, can you be happy, joyful, and abundant as a selfish and isolated individual being? Or is it better to unify with other people and the biosphere and to help bring forth abundance and goodness for all? Which is better, a selfish focus or a focus on helping many? Obviously, we will all engage in both to some extent, but the big question is one of them more valuable than the other? I am here to say that helping the biosphere and helping humanity, helping the people around you, will truly bring such a higher quality of life to your own life during the finite time you are here. So let's look at why this is. The main reason, or at least the beginning of the main reason, is the fact that everything is part of an interconnected system. So rather than thinking of reality as a bunch of separate objects bumping into each other, it's actually more accurate to see existence, reality, universe, and earth as a large interconnected system of energy and processes happening. So let's use examples as to why this is so true. So the idea, imagine you as a single being. You cannot exist independent of everything else. You literally rely on everything else, everything of past, present, and future. You rely on them to exist in order for you to exist. Who would you be if there were no trees? Who would you be if there was not oxygen, electromagnetism, gravity, bees, previous humans who invented the language in which you speak? It becomes clear that even the word I is a bit of a misnomer, because the I which you are referring to, it literally extends into everything else I just mentioned. It is one system along with the trees, with gravity, with bees, with language, with culture. You are kind of made up of everything else in existence. So that's the first big point when it comes to why serving the all is good. To understand that each of us are literally one with everything else. It is like one giant system, one giant body, one giant field of energy as it moves through all of us. The next big thing to understand here is that everything which happens affects everything else. Every individual system, for example, your body and mind, the I that you refer to, each individual system is affected by larger systems, smaller systems, and adjacent systems. So for example, you are affected by the system of the sun as it rotates. You are affected by the system of your cells and the gut microbiome. And you are affected by the people next to you. The universe is like a series of pendulums hitting each other back and forth ceaselessly. Everything is affecting everything else. In this way, everything that you do will affect everything else which happens. And in the same way, everything else which happens will affect you. So let's look at this idea that everything that you do will have a ripple effect on everything else. This is essentially the law of karma. If you walk through life being greedy, competitive, and cutthroat, you will constantly be creating conflicts in your life, which will create a perpetual state of conflict. The seeds which you sow are what you reap. Likewise, or shall I say conversely, if you walk through this life sharing love, compassion, service, kindness, gratitude, teamwork and unity, assistance, if your aim is to serve, then you will rub against people the right way. You will have a positive impact on everyone around you. And then that will create a cycle of positive relations. You will have more love and kindness in your life. You will have more abundance in your life. You will have easier access to resources. So the main idea here is that whatever path you walk, whether very positive or very negative, it will affect everything and it will come back around to affect you. Let me quickly review if there was anything else really important here. Let's have a little look. That does sum up most of it. So what I want to leave you with is, when it comes to how you can affect the world and how you can serve the world, there is a very large spectrum of different ways that you can serve the world, from big to small. From the big, like making a project, to small, like little lifestyle adjustments, using a glass water bottle instead of plastic, composting, all the way to really large things like being part of a social movement, researching a social issue, helping clients in some way. There's a large spectrum of different ways that you can serve the world, whether it be people, the earth, social systems, etc. And the ways in which you serve will become the tone and the hue of your life. One of my favorite sayings is that you cannot give what you don't already have. So as you help to give people and others health, well-being, abundance, joy, connection, gratitude, as you help others to experience positive things, you too are receiving these gifts as they flow out of you. So, in closing, I suppose the practical exercise I could leave you with is to jot down in bullet points the many different ways that you can be of greater service to the whole. How can you help promote global health on a higher level? And then after you jot down those things, it's up to you to implement and practice the ones which you want. Good luck, and thank you for your service.